Hello, hello, my friends. Welcome back to Adobe Live. I'm here with our good friend Jacob Paris. Jacob, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. It's good to be here. It's good to be back in the driver's seat. I'm really excited to be streaming with you today. It's going to be I'm really excited to show the people what I've got going on.
Yeah, I'm excited. Speaking of what you got going on, we're going to be working on a brand identity for a YouTube channel. Is that correct?
That is, yeah. So this is a project that was kind of pitched from a friend and then turned into like a personal project that I'm a part of, and it just spiraled into this really fun, creative kind of exploration, and that was all very much powered by Firefly Boards and Photoshop, which is really nice.
Yeah, Firefly Boards and Photoshop. That is a deadly and amazing combo. We'd love to see it. So we're gonna jump into it here in just a second. Let me switch to your screen. But in the meantime, just kind of shouting out to all our friends joining us. We are live on the Adobe Live YouTube channel and on Behance. So I got the chat right here. I see Dino Rex joining us. I see Weesham. I see Young Palace. Hello, hello, friends. If you guys have any questions, any comments, any concerns, feel free to drop them in the chat. I look at it throughout the whole show and interact with us. Otherwise, it's just a live stream that you're watching after we're live. So if you have the luxury of joining us live, feel free to have any questions, any comments, any concerns, and I'll relay it to Jacob. So without
Yeah.
further ado, speaking to Jacob, we are on your screen and I see here your website. So for those friends that may not know you or anybody watching the replay, you want to kind of give us a quick overview of who you are and what you do?
Yeah. So my name is Jacob. I'm better known as by Jacob Paris in the space. I'm a freelance designer and illustrator that was based in Philly, based in South Carolina. Now I'm kind of based in Canada, but bouncing back and forth. I specifically focus on like kind of ironic design, illustration, things like that. I really enjoy. I'm 28 years old and I have a pretty extensive portfolio. I've worked a lot with Adobe, I've worked with JBL, I've worked with Microsoft, a lot of really fun stuff. And a lot of my work kind of focuses around nerdy stuff. So, like card games, whoops, moved my screen here a little bit, card games, like hardcore bands, like craft clubs, things like that. Just very pop art, fun stuff. I did some work, well, some unfinished work for Neck Deep, like if you're into pop punk music. So definitely have hands in different buckets, doing a lot of different things, but you'll kind of see that collide here today because we're going to be working on a YouTube channel branding, which is a ton of fun, starting here in Firefly Boards with this incredible design template from Adobe Live, which is
That's right.
nice.
And speaking of this template, it is actually available in the YouTube description. So if anybody wants to try this out or just kind of use this as a pre-visualization board for your shoot, your video shoot, art design, you could literally use it for anything as a creative. And Jacob's actually going to show us how he uses this board to kind of pre-visualize this brand identity that we're going to be working on. And
Yeah.
before we get
So,
that, Jacob, actually on your
yeah.
website, could you go back to your website super quickly?
Yes. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love how you could actually drag this interactive
Oh,
thing. I've never
yes.
seen that on a personal portfolio. So this is totally unrelated, but I
Yeah.
thought that was
Yeah.
super cool and
This
original, man. I love seeing all the creatives come on and how they kind of show off themselves. And this is really cool. I've actually never seen this on a personal portfolio.
Thank you. Yeah, this was pitched actually by the person that did the design for the website. I'm going to shout them out because they're an amazing person because they hooked me up.
Yeah, do it.
Their name's Gina Sterling. They do Sterling Design Studio. Like, absolutely incredible designer, insane website designer. I've been friends with her for a very long time. And yeah, she pitched this idea of like, hey, let's do some like blocks and make everything link outable. Like this, there's a hidden link right here that links out to
Whoa.
a YouTube video that is trading card game related. It's a ton of fun. Like I
Love
really
it.
enjoy this website. Yeah.
Shout out to Gina. Great job.
Shout out to Gina.
So, anyways, back to Firefly boards. Just to recap again, this template is available in the YouTube description if you wanted to use it. It is super helpful.
Mhm.
Pre-production is just as important, if not important, for anything related photography, video shoots, identity. So definitely use this Firefly boards, which is free, to be able to kind of conceptualize what it is we're going to do it. So, without further ado, how will you use this, Jacob?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to show you kind of how this actually leveled up my design and my pitching process as well. So once you open up the link, I think Adara put it in the chat. So thank you so much, Adara. You'll get to this
Yes, thank you,
screen where you
Dara.
have the option to see the actual layout, and you'll see this little gray box up here. Just to remix. This makes a copy to your library so you can actually edit the file. So we're going to go ahead and click that remix. It'll bring us into Firefly Boards as it decides to load. And we're just going to jump right into it. So I'm going to, of course, save my file because I have a problem with that. May 27th. There we go. And where I want to start is I want to start in this mood board inspiration. I love building out mood boards, and the fact that you can do this in Firefly Boards, I feel like is so convenient now because you can design and conceptualize and do everything within the program itself. So for this specific project, we were kind of thinking of doing this kind of paper mache, some type of logo design. So I'm just importing these in here, and it's nice that it kind of sorts all these out like this by size, makes it really easy to throw them in here. But as you can see, this is just some art that I've pulled from online from some different artists within like Instagram and Pinterest and some other places. I would have loved to credit these people, but unfortunately, this is just a quick Google search. So these are some amazing artists. I'm sure if you Googled up paper mache art, they would come up very quickly. But this was kind of the vibe that we were going for. And we were kind of thinking about some ideas for some names and some like pitches. And again, this is for a YouTube channel, so we're for the niche, we had to kind of think of what is the niche, and the niche is card games. So the pull from this was the name of a card, and I actually didn't save a photo of this card, but I can probably bring it up. This is where the name came from, was this card right here. Fiendish Duo was the name of the channel that we're working with. This is from the game Magic the Gathering. So we're kind of just building off of this imagery, right? Like the devils, the kind of fun, silly duo type. And as I was experimenting and kind of bringing some stuff down into Fresco and doing some sketching, I kind of landed on, let's see if this will load for me. This. It's kind of like a spinoff on the idea of like the actual card, but you know, some blocky text, kind of more vintage, something that I think would pair really well with this paper design. So we can just throw this. Oh, it's like
You
within
made
the
this in
boundaries.
Fresco?
I did, yeah.
Very
So
cool. Yeah,
all
let's
of
get back
these
to it.
all of these apps like really talk super well with each other. So I've been bouncing in between Fresco and Illustrator and Photoshop and Firefly Boards kind of to build out this brand identity. So definitely some fun stuff. But this is where we get into the nitty gritty, right? Because once I get here, I'm like, oh, you know, this is cool. I like this design and I think it's fun, but like I feel like I can expand on it, right? Like I don't want just a flat illustration. I don't want to, you know, just have something very simple. So what I did is I actually took that illustration and I broke it down into its 3 segments and give it a bit more texture, like a little bite on the brushes as well, which kind of gives us the liberties to kind of start messing around with Firefly boards and start doing some generation and get some reference or just some ideas of like, how would we want to like texture this, right? Just to have like a jumping off point. And this saves me a ton of time because I don't have to build out all of these different textures or add all of these different effects to make this, you know, be finalized. I can run like 4 or 5 or 6, which we're going to do different examples. So like, for example, for this design, I say, make this design like out of felt, retain all of the same sizing, and let me think. I'm always prompting on the fly is always a little tough, but attributes, add subtle textures and shadows. And then we can kind of just expand off of this. I misspelled attributes. There we go. And we can kind of just build off of this. So I'll go ahead and click generate. I could probably honestly even pull in some texturing from this Firefly boards. Like I could bring in like a felt piece square, which we might do, just depending. But let's change this to maybe like construction paper. this is the fun of the prompting too, is like you don't really know what you're gonna get. You kind of just throw it out there into the void, see what
Yeah, but
happens. We're
I
also
mean, this
using
is the
Gemini.
purpose of using boards and Firefly, right? Is we're kind of conceptualizing and ideating here, and we have the luxury to do that. I mean, this is gonna render us our prompt what a couple seconds, right
Oh
under a
yeah,
minute, and then we could just take this as inspiration and kind of keep protecting that momentum, that creative momentum, as we
right.
keep designing.
Absolutely. And you can see we're already getting some really good examples. Like, this
Yeah,
is
that's
awesome.
cool.
Like,
Yeah. Oh my
this is such a
goodness.
cool aesthetic. And it took like a couple seconds. And honestly, I could, come in here and I could, let's see, remove the background from here, like while all of this is processing. Oh, I need to, yeah, it's going to scale it down a little bit, but we can rescale it with Topaz. But yeah, we can remove, it's going to take a second. There we go. We remove the background, immediately make it a PNG. Like, it's just so fast to be able to ideate and be able to kind of get some ideas down. Like, look at this one.
That's
Sick.
cool. Yeah, this is the construction paper one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
And it
I
blows
while
my
we were
mind that like this is just on a browser, you know?
yeah,
Like this isn't taking our computer local resources. It's just all these multitasking that we're doing is just being done on a browser. That's just
it's
nuts.
it's pretty nuts. Like, it's insane how much like power comes behind this software, and like you could do this on a
Hmm.
laptop. I did it in metal because I just thought it would be funny.
That's rad.
Maybe not the aesthetic for this. This is more of like this is giving like a
I feel like a
what do you
welding
call it?
like chopper shop or
Yeah, yeah,
something, you know, like a
exactly. That's what I was like
the
Harley
chop.
type.
Yeah, like I those chopper bros. I forgot what they have their own TV channel, but that's just what I
Yes,
think about. Very
absolutely. So you
cool.
can see like they're really, the possibilities are kind of I want to do one more just for the fun of it. But the possibilities are absolutely endless with this. Like, genuinely, just for thinking of ideas and pitching some ideas to clients without having to actually exhaust your creative resources. Which I always really appreciate. I appreciate being able to, this is kind of similar to the sketching process of being able to kind of pitch some ideas down and say like, hey, what about this vibe? What about this vibe? And just expand on it in different programs, which is what we'll be doing today as well. Here's one in ice, just for fun.
Nice.
That's pretty sick.
Nice for the
I'm not gonna lie.
ice.
I like that. Nice. I like that it
Nice.
retained the colors too. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of get the idea of where we kind of get this generating idea process down, getting some uh inspiration. And what I ended up landing on personally, and what we enjoyed the most, was this construction paper texture. I think
Mhm.
this adds, or I should say, this contributes the most to this style and this medium that we're doing, with it being a card game based channel. Doing construction paper and like, cardboard makes the most sense. So that brings us over into Photoshop. And what I can do is I can actually download this, which is super convenient, just straight from the Firefly boards. Let me zoom out here and let's maybe bring this down into our logo. This won't be our final product, but I just want it as like a little bit of a reference point for when we actually start designing within Photoshop.
It's
Let's square
pretty
this
on
up.
the money from your original design to
Yeah,
how
yeah.
it made it. I mean, I'm trying to look for differences here, and it stuck to it really, really well.
It definitely retained that the values of the original design so well, and I don't feel like it pulled or like took creative liberties at all, which I
Right.
appreciate. Like, I don't want it to do that, right? Like, I'm happy with what I made. I just want
Yeah, and
texture.
that's the cool thing about this. I mean, this all started from something that you made, right? And now we're just kind
Right.
of taking it a step further to see what could be from this original design that we made, which is pretty cool. Well,
Absolutely.
sorry, not we, you did, but I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
we
but
as
I get, yeah,
creatives.
definitely.
Yeah, I made
So
this design for you, dude. What are you talking about,
yeah,
man?
appreciate
Come
it,
on.
man. Thanks for hooking it up for the stream.
Got you, man. Got you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and import this little reference photo in. This is what we generated in Firefly boards, just to have kind of like a jumping off point. Have to
Hmm.
forgive me. I am a Photoshop user, but there's a lot of changes that have come to Photoshop recently, so there might be some misclicks and all of these things. But let me see here. I'm gonna go ahead and import these images that I was talking about. They're not scaled, but I can scale these for us. And it looks like I might have a question in the chat. How do you activate the board layout in Firefly? You can post a response here. I don't want to crash the presentation. No, you are fine. This is what these
This is
presentations
why
are
we're
for, is to
live.
ask
Yeah,
questions.
this is a
Yes.
two-way street.
So when you actually open up the link, so I'll go ahead and click this link here, and it should bring it over here.
Yeah, and Mojo, man, the link is actually right above you. So Adara did
Right.
post it. So go ahead and click on that link, and it will take you to this Firefly board.
Absolutely. So when you click on that link, it'll take you to this point right here, and you can just click this remix button right at the top. And that will open up your own version of this to allow you to actually work within the program. If you're just using this program specifically, unfortunately, it will, or I should say, this file specifically, it won't let you edit it. So you do need to remix it.
Yeah, you gotta click that remix button, and then you're able
Exactly.
to use it on your own. So thanks for walking us through that, and thanks for asking, Mojo Man.
Yeah, we want people designing with us because it's a ton of fun to mess around with. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and size this up. We're going to kind of do this quick and dirty just because, it's not going to be exactly what we were, like this generation, but I don't know if that's really the point. I think for this, we're kind of trying to, make it our own thing and kind of expand on it even further. I'm just going to rasterize all of these layers. And now we can just start with some of the basic Photoshop stuff, which is for making paper textures. I usually like to start with like the most obvious, which is those drop shadows. So we can kind of start messing around with those detailed drop shadows. And I love texturing in Photoshop. Like I used to do it in Illustrator. It's very powerful. However, as many people may know, Illustrator can be a little frustrating to navigate when it comes to texturing and things like that. So I kind of stick to illustration for my Illustrator files.
Do you mind bringing that window up just a little bit? Our cam
This
frames
this one? Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
our
yeah,
cam
yeah.
frames are there. We go. So we can
There
see.
we go.
Thank you.
So I'm just kind of messing around with this darkness, kind of seeing what feels natural. And what's nice is I can go in, kind of look at my reference, be like, does this look like this? This feels a little too dark. I can go back to my drop shadow, kind of just maybe make this a little lighter, maybe a little more blurred, perhaps. Something like that.
Nice. Yeah, we see it happening in real time as you're doing it. So that's the cool thing about these sliders. I mean, you literally see what they're doing in real time here.
It really makes it super, super, super convenient. I'm not going to lie. And what I'm going to do here is because something I noticed that I did not have in my original design that is in this design is this yellow page kind of has like, it looks like it's separated from the actual border, where with my original design, I kind of just did a border and like, added a fill inside. So maybe I'm going to take, take what the program is suggesting and to make it look a little more realistic. I'll try to separate these out. So I can just do that with the magic wand tool on this page. And then we'll just Command X, Command V, just to cut and paste here.
And that separated it as its own layer?
Exactly, yeah. So that cuts it away from the layer itself, and Command V just pastes it in as a new layer.
So that way you
and
can
all
have
I'm
its
doing
own
here,
attributes separately from everything else.
exactly. And I'm just going to go ahead and fill this shape so I have a solid shape in the back. Makes it nice and easy. And we'll go in here and we'll just continue to add these drop shadows. And I can probably even adjust these drop shadows a little bit to be a little bit different, right? Because I want this to look like real pieces of paper. And when you're stacking multiple pieces of paper, they're going to be different textures, different thicknesses, different sizes. And, I want it to look as realistic as possible. So I could probably even make this a bit of a softer shadow, and very, very subtle differences, but it will make a difference, especially when we start adding textures and going into laying those down and adding some bevels. There's a lot of techniques to this. It took a lot of finagling, though. I'm not going to lie, a lot of messing around. So let's see here. Let's make this the darkest since it's going to be the closest to the bottom. And maybe we'll make this have the hardest edge. There we go. All right. We've already got some like lifting kind of going on. We can see that there's a little bit of like, it feels separated. But one thing that I really like about this design specifically that I find very interesting is if you kind of look close in the teeth, the way that this has been generated and the ears, it looks like each individual piece was cut out and
Hmm.
kind of placed down, and there's slightly different contours to those shadows. It's actually a really easy way to do that, right? We don't want to, whoops, I'm just like zooming in and out, there we go. We don't want to just add the same shadow to the entire piece of art, because if we do that, unfortunately it's going to look like not realistic. So we can go in and go to this branding page. Whoops, not branding. Branding layer. I'm going to turn contiguous back on for people that don't know, because I learned about this like a little while ago. Contiguous, I think that's how you pronounce that word, is a little checkbox that allows you to collect or click specific pieces of your artwork without it kind of selecting the whole artwork. If you turn that off, I'm probably not explaining this in the most like specific way, but
No,
if
you
you click
got
on a
it.
specific
You're on it, dude.
color,
Yeah.
it'll
It'll do the whole
it'll
thing.
highlight that whole color. Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
So it's
But
kind of like an
contiguous, you
easy
can
way
kind
to
of
be able
be
to click.
more granular on,
Right.
yeah. See, so it just targeted the eye instead of everything else within that design. We do have a
Mm-hmm.
question from the chat. Welcome, Hayok. They're asking if you created this entirely in Photoshop or did you switch to Illustrator? And I think
Oh yeah,
you used
great
Fresco, right?
question.
Didn't you use Fresco for this in the
Yes,
beginning?
yeah. So started in Fresco, did a little bit of texturing in Fresco. I believe actually, now that I'm thinking, I might have vectorized this in Illustrator, which you 100% can do vectors in Fresco. I want to make that very clear. For me, just with my design process, I tend to like to use the brushes that I've made that are not vector brushes in Fresco. So I try to vector in Illustrator, and then I brought it into Photoshop. So a lot of bit dancing between apps, but it's nice because you can just save it to your library and then just bring it up in the library of each program.
Exactly. And I
It's
mean,
super
that's the
easy.
beautiful thing about the Adobe ecosystem, right? I mean, all of the tools
Mm-hmm.
can essentially get the job done, but there are some tools that are a better fit for the job to make it more streamlined. So when you kind of combine all those, if you're fluent in them, kind of makes your workflow easier because you know what app to use what specific thing for.
Exactly. It really is a blessing in disguise. All I'm doing right now is I am just kind of separating out all of these layers, and let's name
Hmm.
them because I'm going to act like I actually do this in my personal work, and
Of course you
not
do. What
say,
are you talking
yeah, yeah,
about? All
of
creatives name their
course.
layers. Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know if I'm on the newest version of Photoshop, unfortunately, but there is that layer naming feature, right?
It is.
That's
Yeah,
the
that
new
was unveiled
thing.
at Max back in,
Yeah.
what was it, October of last year? And that got
Hmm.
a big crowd reaction. That was really
Oh,
fun.
I was in that
Name your
crowd.
layers for you now. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
It's very, very convenient. Let me just close my window real quick because the trash man's coming and
The
might be a
trash.
little loud.
We can't hear it. Luckily,
Oh,
the
okay, good.
program we're using to broadcast kind of has noise cancellation, so all
Great,
good.
great. Face inside. So I'm just going through and naming these layers. Pretty much all I've done is isolated these pieces just to kind of make it easier to kind of manipulate. We'll do left eye, and then we'll do right eye. Perfect. All right. So now we've got some uh reference down. Like we have everything labeled, we have everything separated. So now we can kind of go in and start getting into the nitty gritty of getting these shadows to kind of look like they're overlaying. I actually want to start with the teeth here. So just go to that drop shadow window. We'll bring this up just a hair. Hopefully that's still within our
Yeah, yeah,
space.
we could see it just nicely. Thank you.
I kind of want to change this, changing the whole angle of the all the shadows, but I kind of want to bring this, maybe make this a little bit of a harder edge. But this is like the fun of this, right? Like this is how we can expand on the the generation itself, right? Like sure, I brought it into Firefly boards, and sure I did like some of the generation, and that's a great place to start. But like, there's so much expansion that can be made off of those ideas, and I'm going to show you guys how we can push it even further and go further and further and further, like to where it doesn't just have to end with that first click, right? Which I really appreciate. Put that in there. And then we'll start working on the face. This could probably be, since it's going to be the most inset on the inside, probably the softest shadow, I would imagine. So we'll kind of bring that in like that. Maybe 4. Let's make that even. There we go. Perfect.
Nice.
Then maybe
Great.
some ears. Yeah. So after we actually drop or bring all these shadows in, what will be nice is we'll get to start adding those textures, and then I think this will really start kind of coming to life. You'll start to see kind of the vision of this kind of looking like that paper. I'm honestly tempted with this left eye to add like almost no shadow, because I really like how it looks inset in that. Like, I'm wondering if I can maybe do like just barely, like even 0.5. No, it's not gonna let me do 0.5. We'll do a 1. That seems good. So now you kind of have that like nice texture. It looks like it's underneath.
Yeah.
And same with this right eye. We'll do the same. Drop shadow. Just a little bit, maybe 2 for this one. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. So we've got our shadows down, which is like the hardest part, right? Just figuring out kind of how everything lays. Oh, I actually need to add one to the outline. Whoopsie. We'll do that real quick as well. Make that one a little bit bigger. There we go. So we have our outline. We have our shadows. So now we can kind of get into some like laying down of some textures, which is really fun. I enjoy this the most, like pulling from Adobe stock and kind of getting to mess around with all these different I don't know, like assets that are just available at like the click of a button. A lot of free assets in Adobe stock too, by the way, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. They have a nice selection for you to be able to pick free ones, which is very cool. Looks like you
Absolutely.
got a
Little construction
paper-like
paper
construction
texture.
paper texture.
Exactly.
Nice.
And actually, there's a great call out from Dino that I'm going to do because I forgot. And that's embossing gives it a little bit of a paper texture. And that is absolutely correct. I probably should add a little bit of a bevel and emboss to these corners, because that would probably just
Ooh,
make it
let's
pop even
see.
more.
Nice. Shout out to Dino Rex for that suggestion. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, look at that. That already looks so cool.
Hey, check that out.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I think I want to even maybe, whoops, go a little bit further with this. I think I want this to be like a really tight edge, because looking at these, it kind of looks like a tight edge. And maybe I think the angle is okay, because if our shadow's coming this way, we want our angle to come that way as well. My only thought is like, do I want this to look more inset or not? Honestly, there we go. That kind of looks nice. It kind of has like a bit of a flatness to it.
That was the outer bevel one. Yeah.
That was the outer bevel, yeah. So maybe. We're figuring this out in real time, right?
Yeah.
Like just
I mean,
seeing what
this is
looks
essentially
good.
what designing is just picking all these different things and seeing what we like. It's how you know it's
Yeah.
live, folks.
Yes. And I don't know. I know that for some people they enjoy the preparedness of it. I kind of like running this on the fly a little bit. Like obviously we had some stuff prepared today, but like when it comes to like the effects and the changes, like I want to see what we can do, and we get great suggestions in the chat. Like I don't want to be too tight on a schedule. I want to be able to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, adjust on the fly, which I think is quite fun for these applications. Yeah, I'm liking this. This is definitely giving it some raised texture. And I think what I can do here is just add this to all of these. There's a way to copy paste over effects, but unfortunately it's escaping me at the moment. So I'm just going to add these all manually to all
And
of these layers.
it's already got the parameters you set, right? So as soon as you
Exactly.
okay, it's kind of remembering what you did for that first one.
Right. And there's probably not too much we'd want to change about these parameters, especially for this being like kind of a, you know, quick illustration, quick example, since we are on a bit of a time crunch. There we go.
And speaking of time, we're
Perfect.
about halfway through, so we got about another
Oh,
25 minutes left.
we're
Um,
flying.
we are flying, and if anybody's joining us just now, we're working on a brand identity for a YouTube channel that Jacob is helping build, and we're starting off with the logo, right? This will be the logo or the
Yes,
avatar for the channel.
exactly. Yeah. So what we have here, just a little piece of paper. I like to kind of, turn it different directions just for
Mm-hmm.
the application of uh making it look like it was cut out and kind of like sloppily placed. Just adds to the tactileness of it. There's a word that I always forget that I try to use of like what is meant to be like real, like something looking real within digital design.
Like
And I can't,
authentic or
there's another
organically
word
authentic?
for it. I
Okay.
always forget. It's so bad. But so I'll go ahead and what I just did is I held the option key on Mac. I think it would also be option or maybe control on Windows. And I just made a little clipping mask above my right eye of my design, just to make sure that that's the only thing that's being affected by
Mm-hmm.
this layer right here. I can go in. And I think for this application, multiply is okay. Actually, multiply is probably the go-to. I try to look at all of them just for posterity's sake, just so I can kind of get like I don't know, an idea of maybe, oh, maybe this one will work this
Yeah,
time. But
just
I
so you
feel
know
like
what else is out there.
I always come back to multiply,
Yeah.
you know. So I'm just doing the same thing here, just copying this stock image, uh, using the option click button to make sure I have that set, and then changing the set to multiply. And what I can do too, which is kind of fun, so I want to kind of add like a bit of a darkness to it, like to maybe oh, we couldn't find the same color construction paper, and maybe we want to change, like, oh, I just had to salvage something from my craft bin. Like I can just copy this over, and I can make it just like a hair textured and a hair darker than this one.
Mm.
I can maybe even add a bit more, right? Do it even darker. So then you kind of get some like these like nuanced differences in it, which I really, really like for this application, like these type of logo designs, because the imperfections of this to me are like what really sell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want it to be too clean, because we're
Right.
looking for, oh, now I want to know what that word is that you're thinking about is like,
It's
authentic, but like imperfect authentic.
yeah, there's like a oh gosh, it's so embarrassing because this is like the fourth time I've done this on a stream. I'm like, it's a
But
word I can't think of.
I
Um,
know it.
yeah, Chuck Anderson uses this a lot, this term, who's a really amazing graphic designer. It's like again, it's like I'm wanting to say tactile. It's not tactile. It's essentially like when you're adding a level of like realism to digital design. That there is like a
Mhm.
word for that, but it's just escaping my brain. If anyone in the chat knows,
Yeah,
let me
chat, help
know,
us out. Throw some words
because
out and it'll click with Jacob. And
I'm
looking
gonna
over the
wake
chat, we
up.
got Overturf Design saying, sweet looking cone,
Hey,
dude. And if that's Steven Overturf, hey, he's got
that
actually a
is.
really cool YouTube series that he did for us on Adobe Live showing you how to make
Yes.
vector design. It's short and sweet and very informative. So check that out. Not right now because you are live with us, but shouting out a cool series that he did with us.
Yeah, that series is awesome. And also Steven is an amazing dude. So you definitely have to check that out because it's a wealth of knowledge. Wealth of knowledge. You'll definitely level up your design game if you watch that video.
Mhm.
Let's see. We'll just add this. I'm just kind of going in here, not doing anything special, like just adding these multiply effects and making sure that all these kind of have this same paper texture. You're starting to kind of see it come together though, right? Like it's starting to have
Yeah, it's
this
coming.
like texture kind of vibe going on. Definitely getting closer and closer to what we're trying to achieve. So I'm just gonna try to go a little bit faster here because I know we're a bit limited on time. Whoops. Misclick in here like crazy because there's some other stuff I want to show of how we can push this even further. Whoops. Let's just do this one at a time. Why is this only It's weird. Oh, I see. I see. Because it's not the right size. That'd probably help, eh? There we go. And then we'll just make this to multiply. And then we'll bring this up. And I'll kind of show a kind of where I did this behind the scenes and what I landed on with a bit more time. How you can really get this to just like really pop, really get this like
Make it
papery
pop.
texture. Yeah,
Come on.
exactly. All right. And then we'll do this last one here. Perfect.
Nice.
And
This is
then
looking great,
we
man.
will.
This is
Thank
what
you.
took us like 25 minutes to get to this. We're flying. This is
Yeah,
great.
not too bad. And I mean, and looking at these side by side, like obviously there's some nuances of this that, you know, I may not have been able to capture as well. Like there's some like edge fraying that I could probably go into a little bit, and like, you know, some deeper embossing. But like I'm very happy with this as like my jumping off point and my logo design, especially when it's going to be squished so small. You
Yeah, I
know,
mean,
like
what are we looking at?
there's
Like
only
50
so
by
much.
50 pixels or something, you
Exactly,
know? It's
exactly. So what I can do is I can go ahead and remove this background, export this, and we'll just save this in our Adobe Live folder right here. We'll just save it. Yeah, Adobe Live May 26. And it's actually the 27th. So I labeled that wrong. But we're labeling, and that's important,
yeah.
even if it's wrong. So I'll go back to Firefly Boards here in our reference, and I'll go ahead and import that image that we just worked on.
Nice.
Look at that.
Man, look at that. It's like
Not too
the
bad.
child of those two is what we started, what we used for inspo, and the result.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool. It's
Yeah.
so cool putting these out side by side like this. Really
Yeah.
cool to
And
see
like
where
this
it
is
started and
great
where we're at.
for absolutely. And it's great for like the client as well, too. I mean, obviously, depending on your client, maybe this ideative process you might not want to share. But for me and for this
Right.
application, of course, I want to say, like, hey, I saw this, like I was messing around with this. I thought it was really cool. What do you think? Like, can we go in this direction? And in this case, in my fictitious pitch, they said yes. They're into it.
They
They
said,
want to
"We
roll
love
with
it.
it.
Here's actually
Exactly.
a plus 200% promotion because of this amazing
Yes.
ideas you have."
We
That's what
we
the
love a
client said.
plus 200% promotion, truly. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add some reference colors here of what the parameters we're kind of working in. But I kind of want to go even further here. I'm gonna zoom in just a hair. Perfect. Because it doesn't just have to stop at the logo design, right? Like we have all of these things to fill out, all of these selections like the icons, the typography, the illustration to fill out. So we're going to do that. Just want to have a good jumping off point. Go ahead and pull. Do I want to swatch from? Yeah, let's swatch from the textured one since it's going to be a little bit darker. And we'll do this red. So these are kind of the parameters that we're working in. And what I could do, I'm not going to for this specific application, just because I have some stuff prepped to the side, is we could kind of start using Adobe Colors and get some real palettes down. We're just a little limited on time, unfortunately. So I would love to, but cannot. But what I can do is I can expand on this even further, right? And maybe add some more assets. So this is another little shape that I designed out in Illustrator, or I should say Fresco. Let me zoom in on this. That's just like a little flame because think of like the devil, like like flames, fire, like that just felt like to me it fit the motif. And with this kind of vectorized shape sharpness, it kind of adds to that like that paper texture. What we can do, which I really like with Firefly boards, this is like ultimate lazy designer. And you know what? It's okay. Sometimes we just want the quick and easy way to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type in retain all assets and shapes of this design, but make it red. That's all we're going to do. We're just change the color.
So essentially color
So
fill.
yeah, literally color fill,
Yeah.
but we're
That's funny.
generating the color fill. And I'm
That's so
sure there's
cool.
actually a way to do this in Firefly boards, but I think it's just kind of
Yeah, I
funny.
think, I
But
mean, for the purpose of staying in Firefly boards, I think this is it. Otherwise, I mean, obviously we could take it to Adobe Express,
totally.
Photoshop, what have you,
Yeah.
and just change the color there. But we're trying to keep it all in one app. So it's all good.
Exactly. Like this is more of like I have the idea like now. I'm just like, okay, I want to keep things
Let's do it
moving, keep
quick.
things going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And look at that.
exactly.
Within 10 seconds,
Easy
it made it
peasy.
red.
Whoops. We imported that directly into not the oh, it made it huge too. Okay. Interesting. There it is.
Oh.
Okay. Big, big. Okay, great. So we have that in red, and we will just remove the background on both of these guys. Doing a lot of multitasking here, which is always kind of fun with Firefly boards. It makes it really, really easy, especially if you have ADHD like me and you're like, I want to do this and then this, and then I want to do that and this. Makes it very, very fast. So we have our flames. And I was kind of messing around with this like texturing idea of kind of like overlaid on top of each other, similar to this. And I want to kind of stress test boards and see if I can maybe kind of get an image. Let me see if I can. I might have to actually save this as its own separate file. There we go. Perfect. Let me go back to downloads. And I want to see if I can actually, because now this is all one shape. We'll remove the background. I want to see if I can get it to look like it's like laid on top of each other, like two different pieces of paper, which we already kind of showed that we can do, but this is with shapes that I've just built out in boards itself. So we'll say make this paper origami cut out texture, something like that. Obtain shapes and color with subtle shadows and like texture. Yeah, we'll just say that. We'll go ahead and generate. It's the prompting on the fly, man.
The
It's always
prompt
funny.
engineer. I feel like that's a job in its own. Like,
Oh my
oh,
goodness,
the
no,
prompt
no
engineer.
telling. You know who's great at prompting? Magdiel. He definitely
Magdeal is great. Yeah.
has a brain for it.
I would shout out Andrew Hockrattle too. I feel like is
Yes.
really talented in the prompting world because I mean, he went to, I think he's been in the design world and like studied it and went for it. So he knows all those like secret terms. And I'm like, what?
Right.
I don't even know what you're
Absolutely.
prompting.
Okay. So we've got kind of a vibe, right?
Nice. This looks
So
great. Yeah.
this is a great, like, again, just a great jumping off point of reference and kind of gives me
Mhm.
like, oh, well, like maybe I can do like some like fire style type thing going on. And this just adds kind of like more building off points of the
Mhm.
brand identity. So I did that. I prepped it. Spoiler alert, guys. And I kind of added like a little banner for the YouTube
That's
channel,
cool. So
because it's,
that's the banner that'll live at the top when you see the page, right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And this
Yeah.
kind of gives us like a bit more of like, I don't know, so like a bit more of a jumping off point, like more stuff to
Hmm.
work within, more parameters to work within, and just more things to present to the client. And that's just like off of a silly idea that I'm like, maybe this will look cool. But just pushing it further and further and further and at filling in these boxes here. Of course, with the typography, I can add what that text is, which is Jazzy B. This is I don't think it's an Adobe Fonts font. I can't remember what Type Foundry this is for, but I I love this font. I feel like it made a lot of sense for the application of this design.
Did you use this font when you were building this in Fresco for the initial one, or did you?
I honestly did not. I kind of
That's
just
okay. That's
drew.
nuts that this matches that kind of like drawing that you did. It fits so
Yeah, so
well.
I was going for like a block. Well, so I should clarify. When I initially did my sketches, I did not. I did draw like a blocky shape. This
Right.
font is the actual like finished logo is this font, yes. But if I could pull in my sketch, I probably should have. It was very, very similar to this. I was trying to find
Yeah.
something very specific, but little trick for everyone that
Yeah. I
enjoys
think I know what you're gonna
font
do.
design.
Are
Yeah.
you gonna go to
Yeah, yeah.
font and take a screenshot? Oh, I love this. I
Yes.
use this trick
Yes.
all the time.
Absolutely. Like if you want to find any like font that works really well or like at least as close, if you go to Adobe Fonts and let's go to here. This might not be the best application just because, again, I didn't get this one specifically from Adobe Fonts, but it's a little fun little tip to just get something close. You can just go in and literally just take a screenshot and just drag it right into Adobe Fonts.
Yeah.
It'll
This is so
recognize that font. We'll do next steps.
cool.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Like, it's pretty dang close. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, even this one, like I could see this one fitting so well. Coleman, like lots of different options, and it takes like 10 seconds. It's so sick.
Yeah. Pro tip, clip that.
Yeah, clip that.
Clip that.
Honestly, this one looks super
looks
close.
great.
Wow. But back to our design over. Whoops, it's having me sign in. Why did it have me sign out? That's so strange. Do you mind cutting us away real quick? I'll sign me in real quick.
Way ahead of you. Okay.
That's so funny.
Cool.
I don't think it would show anything anyways, but
so we're signing in. We got about 10 more minutes.
Sweet.
We're kind of doing the nice finishing touches here of a YouTube brand identity that we're just flying through.
Yeah, we're getting in there.
Cut back to your screen. There we go.
Sweet. So yeah, we have some, we have this kind of down. We'll maybe do like Jazzy B, because just so we know what the font is. We'll maybe like do some nameplates. We can do like the lowercase version of it. Jacob Paris. Very nice. So now we're just kind of building this out more and more and more. Icons, we can expand on those icons. But there was one more thing that I wanted to kind of show of how you can push this even further. It's a ton of fun. It's more of just like something that I did within the program. It's really, really, really nice. Like using all these as reference, I kind of started building this out in After Effects, kind of started throwing down some of these shapes, these textures, and getting some ideas down. And I ended up landing on this as a bit of a bumper for the YouTube channel. It's just like a little animated flames fire. So
this is
it has that
cool.
like nice little paper texture.
Would you have used the wiggle effect for this?
Yeah, the wiggle effect, and there's like a
wiggle expression in After
Effects. Wiggle expression, and I think turbulent displacement. It's literally only those two, adding some textures on. And I actually mapped, I don't know if you can see, but I mapped the textures for the fire itself, so they kind of change a little bit with them. Not with this orange one, I don't think, but with the red one as well. So just like being able to push this a little bit further, do more stuff with it, kind of just expand on this idea that just started with some reference photos that we said that we liked. But then now I can kind of start building this out and kind of, making this client ready. I mean, for this application, I probably would have a bit more like spaced out, I guess, presentations, like, not just jamming it all in one box, but we have like 5 minutes left. So I'm just going to start throwing these in here. And if people have,
we got like 7.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, we can kind of make this look real nice. But yeah, I can just set this up to where I think the client would really, understand the vision of this. And what's fun with these card game bumpers and things like that is for this specific channel, I have to kind of give some context. If it is like a gameplay channel, one of the things we'll be wanting to do is kind of like have a floating image of the cards that we're playing pop up. So I can like bring those assets in here really, really easy. And then like, just plop them right on top of the video. And you can kind of get that idea without really having to leave, everything kind of works within these layers. So you can kind of get an idea of what this would look like staying in here. We can have it even add like, I don't know, Jacob. Let's use that Jazzy B. Jacob. So I can see it. There we go. Opening hand. We'll square that up. Honestly, I might actually have this on 2 different text layers. Yeah. We can just like slide that in there. Like that. Like that. And now we're like really starting to get kind of the imagery of what this YouTube channel is going to look like, right? So can't hit that playhead with that in the way, but there we go. A little animation, a little something, cool. Start expanding on it a little bit. So definitely is a great way to like, propose these things to these clients and and kind of have an idea down of what we're wanting our end goal to look like. And it's all kind of, I'm just building this out within, boards, like pretty easily, not having to kind of break my back to explain this like imagery, explain this verbiage, get this point across that I'm trying to get. It's really just as simple as it can be, which I really appreciate, because to be honest, I never have been the strongest when it came to client pitch proposals. And now I feel like a pro.
Yeah, what do you do? They give you a 200% plus bonus for this
Oh,
amazing
true,
pitch
true.
deck. Yeah, it's
That is absolutely true.
you're
So we can add
killing
some
it
colors in
here.
here.
Yeah. No, this is great, and it's great to just have this unique and custom for a YouTube channel. Right? There's just so much
Hmm.
YouTube content out there that you really want to make something uniquely yours, or if you're starting a
Right.
channel, just have its own brand identity. And
Hmm.
we're essentially just coming all up on this, and I know there's some prep work involved, but it doesn't have to be too intimidating, right? With the help of
No.
Firefly Boards, ideating, knowledge with Photoshop. Like we have a pretty cool brand identity here that we built under an hour, which is insane.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, even with the prep work, even with the, expanding on what we did today, like it really is like, this is kind of the foolproof way to just get something down that feels, trying to think how to word this, like that feels very like whole, as opposed to like
Right.
just a sketch, just a proposal, just like some text on a document. You can really start developing out some really insane imagery, like brand imagery, very, very quickly with this program. And it's so strong, it's very accessible. You can use it you know, all within the Adobe, or I should say like your browser, all works within the Adobe suite. It's very, very convenient. Let's see if I can drag some more things in here just before we run out of time, and then maybe I can give everyone a bit of a like final thoughts, like what we did today, if that sounds good with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes, so we got some time.
Sweet. Thought this I don't know. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I'm just kind of filling out these last few shapes here. I like that it's clipping within the shapes as well. It makes it very convenient for
Mm-hmm.
that proposal. So we got some illustration here, some icons. Maybe we'll bring in I have some over here on my side. We can honestly probably isolate our text as well, so like we did on this right here. And bring this in like that. Great. So yeah, this is developing out very, very nicely. You can probably clean up this board a little bit. And what we could probably do is, if we have a little bit extra time, I can maybe even start working on some nameplates like really quickly in Photoshop, just to like
Yeah,
have
let's
in
do a
here.
speed run.
Yeah, a little speed rounds. Let's make a quick new document. And let's speed round. Do this. Perfect. And then now people can see how, oh, getting the spinning wheel of death. We're
Oh
putting text.
no.
There we go.
There
Not
it
very
is.
conducive to a speed round, eh? Jacob Paris.
Lorem ipsum, man, it'll get you.
Yeah, truly. Crash the whole dang system. All right. So we'll do this. We'll make
This
this.
font, looking at it, is reminding me of just like the SpongeBob font, like 10
Yes.
hours later. Like
Yes.
that's
Yes.
exactly
Literally.
what it's reminding me of.
It's definitely has
So
that
funny.
vibe. It's
Yeah,
so funny.
bikini bottom vibes.
Yes. I love it. We'll go ahead and rasterize this layer. I always lose. There we go. I always lose where rasterize. I swear they changed it. I swear that it
It's
moves.
not me, all
I'm
right? It's the
yeah,
program.
exactly. You get me. You understand me,
I got you. I got you.
All right, so we'll make this a little bit. Yeah, give it a nice little overlay.
Nice.
And then we'll come back here, grab our paper texture. Let's put it on a little bit of a angle like that. Heck yeah. Nice. And I honestly, I don't, well, multiply we could, but this is where, because it's just white. Honestly, I could probably make this text gray so it shows up a little bit more like off-white color. Whoops. No, whoopsie. Just open up a save menu. Click in my keyboard too hard. Yeah, like to me that looks more like paper with that kind
Definitely.
of gray.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll add our emboss, effects, bevel and emboss. Maybe make that a little bit
All right, we are coming down to the
thinner.
wire here. I'd say we got about
Oh yeah.
35, 40 seconds left.
Whoa. All right. I'll export this out really, really quick. I'll give everyone the final look at our Firefly boards. I'll bring this over.
Let's bring it in. Speed run, baby.
Speed
It's
run.
happening.
There it is. All right.
Yeah, there it
Photo
is.
finish. But yeah,
Photo
this
finish.
is the
Tweak.
power of Firefly boards, being able to build out these brand identities like super, super easy, really, really fast. Like, I mean, we did all this in an hour. And if I
That's
had,
crazy.
an hour and a half, 2 hours, I could expand even further, a day, like just keep going and keep ideating, keep, doing all these different versions of this logo and make more animations, more things, just like off of these very, very, very simple ideas. So
Yeah. That was amazing. Great job, Jacob. This was
thank
awesome.
you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
All right. Well, that's going to put us at time. So thank you, everybody, for joining us on Adobe Live. Don't go anywhere because we do have more Adobe Live goodness coming up. We got File New coming up with Ryan Selvey. Always awesome news of the trending design world. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
See ya. Bye bye.